If you are tired like I was, spending months potty training your child only to feel like it's a never-ending battle, then you have to check this out. My name's Jennifer, and in this video, I'm going to share you my 3 proven potty training tricks. So a quick rundown is my partner and I, we now have 4 beautiful children, and our oldest little John was very difficult to potty train. We potty trained our first 2 children without any hang-ups, and around 2.5 they showed interest. We got the whole potty seat, big kid underwear, and the whole shebang, no problems. Then it came time for John to potty train when he turned 3. And at first he seemed really interested, but then time went on and a year passed. And the thing about John is that I'll say he's stubborn and he is a million times why type of child. Like, don't get me wrong, I love that he's inquisitive and truly wants to understand all the whys in life. And the last thing I wanted to do was to try to break his will. And then I realized that we were just sort of stuck with potty training John. And I thought I'd somehow forgotten how to be a parent. And I remember sitting down with my husband one night and started the conversation. I asked, what do we really know about potty training? And I mean, it might sound a little bit odd for another couple to listen in on this conversation if they could, but after spending years in social work and working with children, I do have the tendency to poke around with questions like this. Ask questions, when you see some type of bad result, it's the first tip that I have for you guys. So maybe it's your child maybe throwing daily tantrums about eating candy, or it's your child biting people, or in this case, it's daily accidents, days filled with frustration and the exhaustion that comes with trying to potty train a stubborn child. And what I know about bad is that it's like a little breadcrumb and you can follow it. And if you follow it, you'll find a solution every single time. So this is the second thing that I realized, and this is tip number 2. In social work, we have this concept drilled into our heads from day one. If there's a bad behavior, then you don't walk around with the same old hammer trying to solve the problem, because you can't solve all the problems with a hammer. Instead, you solve the problem by understanding what's going on. And second, you change you, or in other words, you change your response. And in turn, that changes your child's response. 3, the third tip, and this is a biggie, guys, but it's a bit more difficult to explain. And I remember the first time hearing about this concept from a pediatrician, and I asked him how to help my child who was having night terrors at the time. My son had just started sleeping in his bed, and every night he would wake up in a panic, screaming and crying at 2 a.m. And he told me to picture this. Imagine you're 4 years old, in your own bed, you're all alone, and you wake up deathly afraid from a bad dream. What would you want your mom or your daddy to do? Because a lot of parents, they don't realize that automatically roll out of bed. They just automatically roll out of bed cranky. And they look more like an upset giant than a kind of caring parent to their child. He finished with this bit of wisdom. If you just approach every parenting problem like this and realize that you can always respond with a warm, nurturing, and kind attitude and truly wanting to gain understanding, you'll solve every parenting problem that comes your way. So that's tip number 3. Put yourself not only in your child's shoes, but in their body for a minute. How would you feel about potty training and how things have been going? What if the bathroom is a scary and alien place you just don't like to be? And what if time to time the adults were even the slightest bit upset with cleaning up your accidents? Do this and you'll find a way through all of this. So I have one more piece of advice for you guys on potty training. Okay, and it's a guide my friend told me about. He potty trained his daughter in a few weeks using it. And then just later learned about the woman who created it, and I've read the book portion of the guide. She has 4 of her own kids and also owns a daycare. Her method was originally based on working with 127 parents and printing the original paper version of this guide for each of them. Then she made the guide available online, and I'm sure it's helped other people, but I know for certain that it's helped me and my friend who told me about it in the first place. So I really got it for one reason: understanding. I see parenting as a skill. It is. So I figured if I can easily get stuck potty training my 3rd child, plus I have another child who will soon be potty training, it would be great to understand how to not ever get stuck again. And that's where my husband and I are at now. I can say that I've listened to the audio called Start Potty Training, and I've read most of the book, and I've also picked up the bonuses, and my third child is now potty trained. So if you would like to get this book, then you can find a link in the description of this video. And thanks for watching, and I hope that my tips have helped you. Leave a comment, please, below if you have any questions or any kind of feedback.